name's Ryan, and this is my beautiful bride, Brittany, coming up. And we get to share the vision. Oh, yes. No. It's because of you. We get to share the vision of our students' ministries and what we want to be about here. Whether we have kids from 7th to 12th grade, this short time that we get them, we just want to share Ocean Hill's heart for them. First off, we want them to become more the men and women that God created them to be. Like, that is our heart, that they would grow into that. And we know the huge part of that is knowing Jesus. Like, that is at the core of why we exist, is that the students would come to know Jesus in an impactful way. And it wouldn't be just a Sunday impact in their life. This would impact their relationships. This would impact their families back home. This would impact how they act at school and how they go off to college. And we want it also to impact their future families. We want this to impact the way they raise their kids and their heart for seeing the Lord in their families' lives. And so the ways that we do that, Britt and I are going to share, is we go on adventures with them. That's what we view a junior high and high school as. It's an adventure where they have a lot of big decisions where they don't understand how big these decisions are that they're making. But we get to walk beside them on this adventure. And we get to go on these trips. We get to meet them on Sunday nights or Tuesday nights and just walk through them through life. And a lot of what you're going to hear from our students is that on these trips, they get to see what God is really about. They get out of the noise of their friendships or school life for a bit, and they get to see God's heart. And so you'll hear about LA, or you'll hear about Mexico or Haiti or Ecuador, and just these trips where we see God's heart for the poor. We get to see God's heart for caring for each other and loving each other. And this is something that we think is a core value to what we're about. Also, something that's near and dear to my heart is that when your student comes to our group, we want to teach them to hear the Lord in their life. That is so close to our heart, is that they would hear the Lord. And we teach them to find that in reading the Word. We teach them to do that in prayer. If they're going to have impactful lives, they need to know how to seek the one that's able to have impact in their lives. And so just like when you learn anything, it's not given to you all at once. You need someone to walk beside you in that and teach you it. This is how we do that. We get to walk beside your kids as they learn how to pray, as they learn how to seek and find the Lord. And so, my love.
A couple years ago, Ryan and I went to a conference that was put on by a group of researchers. And the big thing that just has stuck with me, they were speaking about the kids who, when leaving high school, and then going through college or kind of whatever was after high school, and kept their faith through that time and on into like the next phase of life. They all had something in common. And that one thing was that those kids that kept their faith, they had 4 to 5 people other than their parents, but 4 to 5 adults in their life leading them to encourage them in their faith and just to walk through the high school years with them. And so parents, for those of you who are out here, I don't know if your kids who are in high school are like me, but when I was in high school, my parents were the last people that I wanted really to speak into my life. And maybe I was just a rebel, but I imagine some parents can probably relate with that. And so anyway, this is just an awesome thing of hopefully taking a little bit of a weight off of you, but that you can encourage your kids to have relationships with other adults who will just encourage them in their faith. And then just to the entire crowd, I mean, I hope that this just touches some of you, that you could be one of those 4 or 5 for our high school kids, that you could be one of those people that makes the difference between one of our kids going off to school or going off to a job or whatever it is, that you could be one of those people that makes the difference between them keeping their faith or not. And so if that is just something that touches your heart, we would love to talk with you about that. In addition to wanting our kids to know Jesus more through adventures, through them learning to hear the voice of God, we also want them to know Jesus more through their community, through real relationships. And nowadays it's so easy to not have any real relationships, that things stay so surface level. And so something that we're all about at 34 North is real, deep relationships. And so what that looks like for us and for all of our leaders, we're all on the same page with this, is we want our kids to know that they are so loved, that we love them so much, that they are known, that we don't just know their name or what family they come from, but we know their struggles and we know the pains and we know the great times in their life and we know them intimately. But that also that we are support for them, that when they go off to college or when they go off to a job or eventually to have a family one day, that we can be people, in addition to, their parents, but we can be people that they can fall back on for advice and to just, encourage them forward when there's hard times and struggles. And in that, we have a couple of girls, Kelsey and Sierra. Kelsey is off in Haiti right now, which is just so awesome because we do want to send them out. And Sierra is in Ecuador right now. And so we have this piece of paper that's in your program. So whether you know them or you don't know them, we don't have to limit the number to 4 or 5. But if you have a heart to just write a little encouragement to one of them, we would love that.
Awesome. And that's Kelsey or Sierra. Just write it on your card. And I'm going to introduce a video of some of our kids telling their stories. And then